Hey everybody, guess what? We're back. This is African Frame Podcast. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out our other videos that we've done in the past. I mean, Rob and I have been doing quite a number of videos over the year. We've started with Batman Begins. We've done quite a number of Christopher Nolan films. We've done a number of Quentin Tarantino films. We've done animated films. Now we're doing Chinese films, or rather Asian films. So if you're new, welcome. Um, don't forget to click the notification bell icon so that you can get notified of any other videos that Rob and I might be releasing in the near future. And as I said before, this is African Frame Podcast. I'm not alone. I'm with a director, a writer, um, a film genius, a cinephile, Rob Sibeko. Do you want to say hi to the guys, man? I know you hardly do this, so
What's up, guys? Same old me. No genius here.
it's the geniuses that don't want to admit that they are geniuses. But yeah, thanks again for everybody who's been checking out the channel. We truly appreciate everything, all the love. Don't forget to comment though. That really helps with the algorithm. But yeah, as I've said before, we're gonna be doing a martial arts Asian film, and this is one of Jackie Chan's best films, according to a lot of people. The film is called Police Story. Police Story was released in 1985, I believe. The first one, right? I mean, obviously spawned a few sequels. I believe there's Police Story 2 and Police Story 3. I think Police Story 3 was released in 2013.
Yes.
So yeah, it was released in 1985, made 18.7 million at the box office. That's in dollars, by the way, converted to dollars, obviously. As I've mentioned, it stars Jackie Chan. It stars Bridget Lin as Salina Fong. It stars Maggie Chung as Jackie Chan's girlfriend. It
Nay.
starts, it starts, yes, May, and then it starts Cho Yun as Chun Tao. Chu Tao, a crime lord.
True town.
Yes, crime lord, aka Tom Koo. And just something that I think people might want to know about Cho Yun is that he's a director, screenwriter, and actor, and is credited with over 120 films as director and has over 70 films as a writer and over 40 films as an actor. Also, I just want to mention that Bridget Lin is regarded as an icon of Chinese language cinema for her extensive and varied roles in both Taiwanese and Hong Kong films. So these are not small people that are in this movie. You know what I mean? I think also Maggie Chung, um, she was second in 1983's Miss Hong Kong pageant, and she had achieved critical success in the late 1980s to early 2000s before taking a break from acting. So like I said, these people are, yeah, they're quite, I guess you could say, famous people in a film. I really like Bridget Lin. I think we'll get to it though, but I really liked her character in this role. All this information is from Wiki. If you don't believe in everything that Wiki says, you can do your own research from your end. But I don't think they would lie about things like that.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, let's get into it, Rob. Is there anything that you want to say before we
Um, just, I mean, this wasn't his breakout film, but it was a genre-defining film that definitely put Jackie Chan on a lot of maps. And I feel like it made an impact on Hong Kong filmmaking because Jackie Chan, people forget that old school Hong Kong filmmaking wasn't as funny. It wasn't as comedy kung fu. It was Once Upon a Time in China.
Right.
It was what can you even say? It was
I mean,
even
it's like period pieces, period films about
yeah,
ancient Asia.
yep. With
Right.
their basically their version of like Abraham Lincoln mixed with like Shaka mixed with like
Right.
Julius Caesar named Wong Fei Hong. You know that guy
Yeah.
from the Once Upon a Time in China. Basically, in the same way that like Bruce Lee, like, everyone had like fake Bruce Lee names after Bruce Lee died.
Right.
Basically, that was like the iconic character. And Jackie Chan actually played one of those characters in a
Actually,
movie called the cheetah of something, the hyena of something.
If
Um,
sorry, please continue. I'll
yeah,
stop after.
and and that movie was a complete disaster. And then I believe the story is Jackie Chan was like, "Look, just give me a chance, and I'll show you something unique." And that's when the whole comedy kung fu thing kind of started. And then like I think it was Snake in the Eagle's Shadow that really blew him up. And then and at this point he already had his own team in Hong Kong, and they were already taking things on, and this is what really blew him up. Yeah,
You mean his stunt team?
well, not officially his stunt team, but his own like people that were working with him. I think by the time like Brooklyn and obviously Who Am I, the team was already set up.
Yeah.
But this was all before then, I believe. This is all predates Who Am I.
That sort of sounds like Adam Sandler with his is it Happy Productions? You know, it's his own team.
Happy Medicine, I believe, yes.
Happy Medicine, yes. I just wanted to say two things. One is, I mean, I'm sure it was. I'm not sure if it was Snake in the Eagle Shadow. Was it not Drunken Master that really
It
got?
might have been. I have to check which one comes first, but definitely Drunken Master was iconic.
Right.
So I thought, and you'll have to admit the two movies, Drunken Master and Snake in the Eagle Shadow, are very similar. I have to see which one came first.
And I think it's even the same cast.
Yeah, it's almost entirely the same cast. Yeah,
same villain from Drunken
same
Master.
beats. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
but then I think the one that really was, I think the most popular one is the final one that he did, Legend of the Drunken Master. I think that's what it's called. With the one where they basically make drinking a superpower. Like it becomes his spinach in that one.
Is it the one where he gets adopted by a certain family and he gets disowned?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
And like the mother is like basically looks his age, but is like kicks ass as well.
Yes.
And the kicking guy is the final boss. And I swear that kicking thing is something I want to do in my own movies, dog. It's just whoosh.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to say was, you're right. Jackie did this whole Bruce Lee thing, and then he realized it's not working. And then he said, "Look, instead of like fighting five guys and beating them all up, I'm gonna do comedic elements, but I'm also gonna show you that I'm also gonna get beaten up. I'm not gonna be beating like five guys at the same time.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. I'm probably gonna run away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm fighting one guy, yeah, that's fine. If I'm fighting five guys, I'm probably gonna run away. You know, so he gave a realistic take to the whole thing, and I think which is something that people sort of, I think some people underestimate Jackie's fighting prowess because of that, not understanding that it was deliberate. I mean, he's done so many films, and you can tell that this guy actually knows martial arts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, some people can say he doesn't really do. He doesn't. It's not really a great martial artist or whatever. But I mean, this guy has been training since he was a kid with Sammo Hong and UNBO, all those guys. So I don't.
Yeah, those. Yeah. I think
people,
they're called opera schools or something like that. There was something like that. I think that's what they called them, opera schools.
something like that.
And yeah, so you basically got taught to be like a gymnast, something like that. And yeah.
I know it's not just the three of them. I think there were like five in total. The something kids. I forgot what they were called.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess that's the trivia, all the trivia that we can. Oh, but I think he was also a co-director in this film.
Yes, it's the writer director.
Right.
And I'll probably get into that more later on. But yes, this man was basically given a budget, and they basically said, "Go for it, buddy." Yeah. We'll get more on. Yeah.
I'm glad they gave him a chance because he proved himself. I mean, when you look at, when I was doing some research, it said that he, in his book, I think his autobiography, he said that he considers this film to be his best film because of the stunts and the fight choreography and all of that. And I guess you could say that when you look at the film, you realize the risks that he took in this film. There's a lot of risks that he took in this film, and
definitely,
it shows.
It's funny that he cracked his skull in Armor of God, and I believe he destroyed his shoulder in the third one, Police Story 3, when he got hit with the helicopter. So yeah,
I think he broke his foot in Rumble in the Bronx.
In the Bronx, yes.
Yeah.
Been bad, but man, worth the risk. You'll see. Cool. So let us start the story.
That's right.
Cool. I'm gonna try and go at this from the image of a writer, not just a ooh ah action, because none of us are martial artists, so we're writers.
Right.
Anyway, opening shot is of a township or a shanty town or a I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah, set of shacks on a steep hill. We see a car pull up and henchmen open up for a gang boss using the biggest cell phone in the world.
I mean, this is the 80s, right?
Yeah,
So,
it's the 80s, just that cinder block.
right.
Um, it cuts very cleverly to a briefing, which acts as a very clever way to do exposition. We get a setup of our antagonists and the mission, Operation Wild Boar. They do well setting up the importance of the mission. Um, on this, I like about Hong Kong movies is how they can add so much scale. Like you can't do this in Hollywood. The sting is huge compared to the most impressive Hollywood movie. Look at SWAT. Wasn't this grand a scale? Look at things like this within operation and things come together like this. This is because it's a foreign movie and things are a lot cheaper. A lot of that shit just simply built themselves. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
they didn't just take over someone's house. But Hong Kong people can do that sometimes. Jean-Claude Van Damme even talks about how in some of his movies, the director will be like, no, we're going to shoot in that fish market and we're going to fire guns and we're going to run through the crowd and the crowd will just understand. So I love that kind of thing. And it kind of, Jackie Chan takes full advantage of that whole space and opportunity he gets.
Mm.
Cool.
I think there's something that okay, maybe we're not there yet, but I'll mention it when we get.
Yeah. 5 minutes in, we get our first error in the sting. Someone's earpiece is noticed, and we finally get our first viewing of young Jackie Chan. Like, this man looks so young and fresh.
Okay,
2 years unborn, yeah. Cool. The mission is blown, chaos ensues, and we get tense music and a wild gunfight. An absolute banger. It's funny to see so many old school revolvers, by the way. Like, it's crazy to not think that people weren't using like 9 millimeters in those days.
right.
Just yeah. The cops are taking a beating with a competitive Jackie Chan helping out. Despite everything being shot in wides, everything feels so. I would say it's probably a 35 millimeter lens that's being used. Everything feels so claustrophobic because the passages in the shack areas are so tight.
That's
The
so narrow. Mm. Mm.
yes, you feel. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
almost like a horror movie.
And also his partner or one of his comrades is
Mm,
petrified. So
yeah,
he sort of
and
understands
yes,
the gravity of the situation.
yeah,
Mm.
exactly. Sometimes it's kind of like all those disaster movies where you need like a close up of one guy just to see what's kind of really the reaction of it, and that's kind of what I got there.
Right.
Uh, yeah, cool. So that feels like a horror movie as we follow this one guy, and then finally the bad guys escape, sort of, and the shots finally open up, and we see the bad guys are stuck in their cars, and they decide to use the hill, creating the original Michael Bay Bad Boys 2 shot.
Yes, that's what I wanted to get. Like, that's. I think Michael Bay probably watched this movie and is like, I'm doing this in my movie.
And yeah, you can see people. You can all decide on your own who did it best. But I'm gonna say the scale of this thing. I think they did it better than Michael Bay.
I
Uh,
think I agree with you, and the reason I agree with you is
mm,
this was the main location for that scene.
yeah.
With Bad Boys, that moment felt random. I do understand that you needed to have something entertaining for the third act.
Yes.
Because I mean, after that, it's the landmine
Yeah.
situation. But for me, I feel like this one is a lot stronger in a sense that it happened. It happened at that location. There was a whole shootout thing. They were not just running. It was just not a car chase thing
Yes.
initially. There was shooting there initially. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
makes sense.
It wasn't just a moment. It was a climax of an entire period of storytelling,
Right.
basically.
Right.
Yes. Um, and I would even say that the fact that it's not perfect, right? I think there's even one shot. If you look carefully, you can see there's a dummy inside the car instead of a person. If you look carefully, you can catch it. But I would say the imperfection actually helps it. There's something about American films sometimes that are when they're too smooth. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it ends up looking cheap. And this thing, which probably was cheap, ends up looking expensive. I don't know how to explain it to you. Like it makes it better. It's like a cup. A cup that's made by a robot sometimes doesn't feel as good as a cup that's made by a person with
Right.
the imperfections. I feel like that's a
No,
thing.
no, I agree with you. That's the impression that I felt when I was watching the mall third act thing. But we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yes. Cool. We get a moment of I call him sus cop, who basically tells all the cops around the truck to go away, and then they kind of leave him there, and then he disappears, and then the bad guys run away, and we kind of see that for a moment. We don't really know what that means. Uh, yeah. Cool. Jackie Chan faces down a bus, and in a very cool, basically there's this whole bus chase scene that is, it feels so real. I mean, this man is heading for his life on an umbrella, like that's crazy. Um, the fact that all of these stunts were done, like there's no CGI. This is all just Jackie.
Yeah. And
No,
he said that so many times. He said, look, in Asia, we do these things ourselves. We don't like we're not depending on like CGI or anything. Like what you see is what you get. If you see us jumping on an air and on a whatever on a train, moving train, we're actually doing that. It's not like you know what I mean.
absolutely. So when this man is hanging on a plastic umbrella as a bus takes a corner, that's him. And seeing his body swing like that is crazy. Beautiful stuff. Anyway, that sequence is of course perfect, but in the storyline, yeah. It ends with Jackie Chan facing down the bus in a cool Dirty Harry moment where you see him take down a little preset bullet loading thing. Yeah, revolvers. Cool. Cool. Basically, he ends up taking down the bad guy in the moment where they try to bribe him, but then Jackie Chan proves himself as a good guy as he saves, as he takes the bad guy, irrespective of the money. Nice moment. 17 minutes in, yeah.
I think before you go further, I just want to say that one thing that impressed me about that whole sequence, that whole situation before he started chasing the bus is he does not give up. He's not a quitter. He perseveres. And you see that throughout the entire film, where in moments where you're supposed to give up, or what rather film has taught us that the main character would give up. I'll give you an example. In Bad Boys,
Yeah.
after Mike Lowry saves Marcus, you know, that scene where he was running and then and then
Yeah.
he goes and saves Marcus, and then they all stand up in slow motion. And as they watch the car,
Yeah.
in this movie, if a scene like that happened,
Yeah.
Jackie was gonna try to find a bike. He was trying to
Yeah.
hijack some guy and still chase them. And I think
Exactly.
that's what I like about it.
Marcus did like, okay, you look fine, and then still keep running.
Exactly, because I feel like for me, I questioned myself. I was like, man, I know you're getting paid to do your job, but damn, bro, are you this dedicated?
Yeah.
Yes, because that's the whole premise of his character. Like this guy is willing to go above and beyond
Mm-hmm.
justice for the law to take its course, for the bad guy to go
Yeah.
behind bars, and it's truly remarkable to see.
I would say, yeah, that Jackie Chan isn't a genius in the story, but he is committed. Like that's his feature.
He isn't a what?
A genius. Like
Oh,
he's not being a clever person in this one. Like there's dumb things that happen here. Um, there's mistakes that Jackie Chan makes, but
yes,
there's one thing that he's never gonna make a mistake on. It's his commitment to finishing the mission.
yeah.
Definitely.
That's why when I was watching this, because I do know that Akira Toriyama used to play a lot of Jackie Chan movies when he was
Yeah.
drawing for Dragon Ball Z. For me, this is one of those movies where Jackie Chan's character is as close to Goku as possible. And this is one of those movies.
Definitely. Yeah. If you were time to a character, it wouldn't be Naruto, or even Ichigo. It would be Goku. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. Cool. So 17 minutes in, the tension is gone, and they have their bad guy. Bad guy is caught. The boss is happy, only for the captain um, to come in pissed. Beyond this being a great action movie, the comedy is what makes Jackie Chan's line of storytelling unique. His style of comedy is what made a massive impact on Hong Kong film and action in general. Without Jackie Chan's stunts and contribution, I argue John Wick and combinations, John Wick becomes less interesting, and big money movies of the like lose their flavor. You know what I mean?
Right.
Despite, so I feel like there's a seed of value that I think people neglect when it comes to movies like this. Like I feel like we wouldn't have gotten movies like Money Train either. You know what I mean? Where you kind of have fun and you still have a movie. You know what I mean?
Right. Where you can take serious moments and still find humor in them.
Yeah. I would say every action movie is Taken. You know what I mean? Liam Neeson, I Will Find You.
Right.
I feel like people don't want to do as much Die Hard as much. You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like, I'm not going to say it's the main cause, but definitely a seed. Without it, it's one of the paveways, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like a Citizen Kane of sorts.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Anyway, despite the captain being very upset, they want to make Jackie Chan the face of recruitment. And the captain decides to drop all charges on the secretary. As you said before, played by Bridget Lin, which was the character of Salma Chung.
What a beautiful moment. What a beautiful
Yes.
Jeez.
Dude. Yeah. We also get a funny moment as we see kind of how much of a kiss-ass Inspector Bolton is. Like, this, the whole communication between them is hilarious.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. So while Jackie Chan is getting the big glow up, the captain and inspector are formulating a plot to get the secretary to talk. 22 minutes in, Mrs. Fong is set free, and they hilariously set her up. Like, this is so funny. Yeah, using her own lawyer against her, separating her from her lawyer, then saying absolutely nothing. Even as a kid, this is one of the funniest things I had ever seen.
Right.
It's brilliant. The gang boss is informed, and Selena is in trouble. For an action movie, it's clever. This move, it's like, I think I mentioned before, like how sometimes you need 3 good scenes to make a great movie. You need 3 great scenes and 0 bad ones. Like, to me, this is what I call a great scene, because to me, it's so clever. It's kind of like, it's like the Al versus Light moment. I don't know if you remember Al versus Light. Did you watch Death Note?
Yes, I did.
Remember the moment where where it's like Lynn Taylor, the guy comes out there and then he gets killed, and Al's like, oh, we isolated the different areas.
Yeah.
To
Now, I know you're in Japan.
I know you're in Japan. I know what area of Japan you're in now. Thank you.
Yeah. And chances are you're a student.
Yes.
And when Light is like, oh man, he got me. Like
That's what I felt like in this moment, dude, where they all just chill there and they're all like, what did he say? Nothing. What do you mean nothing? No, you can tell me. No, he said nothing. He said nothing. I love that.
you could tell that these guys know that lawyers are corrupt. So they probably got a hunch that this lawyer was also bought by the villain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
it
think
was a cat and mouse game between the villain and the cops at this point.
yes. And I like it because there's actually another moment in Odysseus. I don't know if you know the story of Odysseus.
Please refresh my memory. The name does sound familiar. That's a Greek character, right? A Greek mythology character.
Yeah, basically in the storyline, he's going back home, basically. But anyway, on his way back home, he has a bunch of adventures, and one of the adventures is he meets a Cyclops, and Cyclops are like these giant mega creatures. Exactly, and then he talks to the one. He says, "My name is No One," and he attacks the Cyclops and then steals from it, right? And then when Cyclops tells the other Cyclopses, they're like, "Who attacked you?" He's like, "No one attacked me," and they ignore him because
that's smart.
Yeah, exactly. That's what this feels like. And I feel like if you're a writer and you can squeeze a clever moment that catches your audience by surprise, good news. You just won 50 points in your storytelling. You know what I mean?
You hooked them.
Yeah. Just bing, 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 bing. Yeah. Anyway, enough blow up on that. Cool. This is followed by this is done by a fake intimidation by Jackie Chan. When the Selena goes home, Jackie Chan is now the bodyguard after the whole setup is done. Cool. Jackie Chan is trying to keep Jackie Chan sends one of the cops to attack her, and then as they're doing their whole fake out, she knocks the cop out, and Jackie Chan trying to keep this nigga up. It's physical comedy at its finest. Like,
yeah, I think this is where the comedy actually shines the most, because let me explain it this way. When I watched it, because obviously he was in the closet, right?
Yes.
He opened the closet, the guy comes out, there's a whole tussle between the two of them. She's on the bed, they're rolling around. But then there comes a point where he's on top of her, right? And at that point, he could have stabbed her. Like that's when I realized that there's no way because when I was watching, I was like, I don't understand why this. Okay, maybe it's because of the plot. This is the one thing I'm gonna criticize
Yes.
because he should have stabbed her. Right?
Yes.
Then he didn't, and then there's the whole thing. She goes by the stairs. He falls. He grabs her leg, but he still doesn't stab her. I'm like, dude, stab her. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not.
Yes.
It's not. It's coming to a point where it's not even realistic anymore, in my opinion. Because I'm seeing so many moments where he could have stabbed her and he didn't.
Mhm.
Until Jake is like, yo, until the guy's like, can I go now? And then Jake is like, look, yeah, I think she's convinced you can go. I'm like, oh, no, he wasn't stabbing her when he could have stabbed her.
Yes.
He's a cop pretending to be a criminal to scare her so that she can trust Jackie. I'm like, okay, this makes sense. No wonder. So the choreography was so clever that you as the viewer are like, no, but you could have like when you're supposed to be rooting for the main character to get away, but at
Yes.
the same time you're like, no, stab her. Like you can actually stab her now.
Give, yeah, give me the knife. I'll stab her.
you know. So the fact that she kept on,
Mhm.
she hit him in the head with a vase, I think.
Yes.
Then obviously he was semi-conscious.
Yeah.
Then they keep on going, and then she hits him again with another one. Then now he's out cold.
Shit. Just full Mortal Kombat. Hey. Oh.
and Jake is like, dude, wake up, come on, man, you have to get out of here. And she now gets another thing on top of that, and he's like, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. You're too heavy. Ah, man.
Yeah, we need to be able to identify the guy. We still need to be able to do some ID checks and whatever. I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy was just at the wrong place at the wrong like he's not this is not part of his day job. This is not what he
Yes.
gets paid for. Hell no.
Yeah. That's beautiful. But he actually succeeds in winning her over, actually.
Yes, he
Uh,
did.
so he convinces her. And then 30 minutes in, they drive away and they run over a pram. And you're like, oh, shoot. And then he gets in, and it turns out it's an actual ambush. It's a real life ambush this time. And this is some of dude, the fighting here. This is why Jackie Chan is famous.
Right.
Like the metal poles, the sound effects, the car being melted around him, dude.
I feel like this is a moment where we start taking the movie seriously again.
Yeah,
Because he's all chilled, he's whistling, he's
yeah,
no sense of urgency, he's not scared at all. And she's like, "Why aren't you panicking? I don't get it. Like
yeah.
you're so relaxed." She's like, "Ah, come on, I mean, you can clearly see that this guy's trying to kill you. I don't understand why you're trying. Then all of a sudden, boom, fake baby. He feels like he hit the baby. He sees it's a doll.
Mm-hmm.
Choreography from that moment where he starts rolling, there's another car, he jumps quickly and then he still rolls, there's
Yeah,
another car, someone's trying to hit him with a bat,
yeah.
he's trying to kick people over, they're hitting him up, and then you're like, okay, now it's getting very interesting. Because at the same time, I was wondering, are these still your buddies? Oh, wait, what's going on? You know what I mean?
I understood, man, because the music changed. And
Yes,
also, I think we forget that there used to be a time, like not too long ago. In fact, his breakout movie was again Drunken Master, Legend of the World, no, Drunken Master 1, where
right.
the old school Kung Fu was.
Yes, yes, yes.
This movie, every single fight scene could have fit in that one fight scene. Just all you hear when they're swinging the bats, clink, 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 clink. This is split second fighting. It is fantastic.
It's fight or flight at this point. You know what
Yes,
I mean?
yeah. And he is constantly moving. There's no stops.
And it's
And,
actually lucky because those goons did not have guns. And I think it was deliberate because you don't want to cause too much attention to yourself.
yeah,
So you don't want gunshots to be heard, but
yeah,
accidents can happen. So even if someone is watching from outside, it could be like, okay, maybe there was an accident and people are they're fighting over what happened. But when you're using guns, it's like, okay, there's a murder, call the cops, this, that, and the third. Yeah.
We're in flat complexes, so yeah, makes
Exactly.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, we get the ambush, and now he's all like, okay, how come you're nervous now? Because this was really real. And like, what do you mean?
Yeah. Why are you nervous? I thought you were chilled. What changed? Right.
Absolutely. Again, looking at this from the writing perspective, very clever stuff going on here.
Mm,
Yeah. By the way, this is what we call fun and games. By the way, we've discussed it before. We're in Act 2 right now.
right.
Act 1 was the setup of the entire sequence, Operation Wild Boar, and then of course the setup with Selena, with the whole entrapment thing and Jackie Chan's fame. That was Act 1. Now we're in Act 2 right now in the fun and game section.
Right.
Jackie Chan's fame plus entrapment and then linchpin witness. This convincing her that she gets convinced basically that she needs to be on their side is a core of Act 2. That was the mission for Act 2. This is all good, but made better when the obstacles of the plan are created by our protagonist's stupidity, making him an active participant in the story. You know what I mean? Things aren't just happening around him. It's not just the boss's plans. You know what I mean?
He's not a reactive character in this case.
Exactly. It's not just the boss's plans. It's because of his plan of setting up the other policemen in there that things go wrong.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So because if he hadn't been trying to be clever, Selena would have helped them after the second, well, would have been the first ambush. Action and reaction. What makes Jackie it's also about the fight. Action and reaction. What makes Jackie Chan's fights impactful is that we get everything in one shot. We get the action and the reaction. We see a guy get kicked. We see the foot connect. We also see him crash into the glass, all in one shot, and it looks painful. Even I was rubbing my shoulder when you see these guys getting nailed.
Right.
What you see there's a nice video that talks about it on YouTube. Every Frame of Painting, you should definitely just subscribe. But he talks about how in modern action movies, what they do is they don't show the hit. So what happens is they do this, and like this is the guy's face, cut,
Right.
and then the guy, then action. So you get cut, action,
Right.
which is crazy. That's how modern movies are shot nowadays. Why? Because no one knows how to fight. So in Jackie Chan movies, you get everything.
But
And then
that's the thing I don't understand though. It's why don't you guys just find consultants who can come and help you with fight choreographies and stuff like that?
right? Look at The Matrix. Took them 6 months of training for them to get ready.
Right.
Are you guys busy? Because now Keanu Reeves forever knows martial arts. You know what I mean? You don't I know that.
That's what you said in The Matrix. I know Kung Fu. He actually knows Kung Fu.
Yes, actually, he was training with a broken neck, people.
Really?
Yes, you must watch the behind the scenes. He's wearing a cast while still doing the training scenes because he had injured himself. Yes. Yeah. When he was, the Kung Fu one, when he's like, yeah. You have a weird fighting technique in that one, eh? The robot.
This I don't know what you call it. It's a video of this guy showing the difference between the first Matrix movie and the last one. Because the last one is like Keanu Reeves now. And then there's like what noises, right? But when he was doing the first one, it's like
yeah.
But it worked. We loved it because one of us,
I mean, when it accumulates to him doing still one of my favorite moments in a fight, where he's doing and then Morpheus is trying his best thing, and it's just getting faster and faster, and finally just that is storytelling and fighting combined.
That's one of the movies that we need to remember. It was on my list. It's one of the movies that we need to.
Absolutely on the list because again, there's storytelling, and because I would say if there's one negative effect. No, it's actually a negative because technically there is storytelling and fighting here, but I think Matrix does it on a higher level, like where it's completely in the story.
Right.
But we'll get into that. Yeah.
I think one thing we also need to acknowledge is if these martial arts films didn't exist or if they were not as popular, superhero movies wouldn't be as great as they are today.
Ah, dude, yes. I mean, look at
Batman,
Civil War.
yeah,
Yeah,
Civil War, the
the
Batman,
Russo brothers. Yeah,
Batman versus
I
Superman,
would
that
say,
warehouse scene wouldn't have been great.
yeah, because I would say Joss Whedon, guy hit hard. You know what I mean? That's
Mhm.
basically his martial arts. But when the Russos came in, they gave Captain America a fighting technique. They gave T'Challa a fighting technique.
Yes,
It made sense when Spider-Man was fighting Captain America. It
right.
made sense when Winter Soldier was up there with T'Challa with the knife thing, which
Yes,
was basically a remix of the Scarlet Witch fight, if I'm correct.
yes. In Avengers 1, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I think that's what
Yeah,
people don't take into consideration, that Hawkeye versus Black Widow fight was amazing in Avengers. It was really good. So you could see the Russos were like, okay, we love this. We're gonna make it look better than it does now. But this is a brilliant concept.
and they used remember talking about Winter Soldier as well, where like Scarlet Witch is basically against Thingamajiggy, and then they do the knife thing, and then he tries the same thing against T'Challa, and it doesn't work because T'Challa's just no, because T'Challa's T'Challa, man.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, 39 minutes in, the fight's over. Jackie Chan's car is juiced, and they have to drive home in it as Salma tells the full story of her involvement in the gang.
Yeah.
Um,
This is when he's
for,
recording the whole conversation, right?
exactly.
Right.
It's important. Plot stuff. 41 minutes in, we get home and we get our own District 9 moment. Remember District 9 when he goes home, there's a surprise party.
Oh
In
yeah.
this, still a surprise party. Um, we meet May, Jackie Chan's girlfriend.
Right.
Yeah. And then it falls apart because now it looks like he's with a girl in her underwear. And he gets nailed 3 times with the cake. It's beautiful.
Right. Right.
um,
You know, I can imagine when I was watching it, not this moment, later on, I started questioning how people felt when they were watching this the first time at the cinema. They were probably
yeah,
laughing the
yeah,
whole time, bro.
dude. When the second cake comes out of nowhere, it opens the door, there's another cake. Ah,
And
dog.
and he just
Definitely.
took a bath or something, right?
Yeah. No, it was before he
Oh,
took
that was before, yeah.
2 cakes. And then after he takes a bath and he starts cleaning up, that's when he gets the third one. Uh, yeah,
Right.
Jack's in pride mode and is a jerk, and he takes a shower and talks nothing but shit. But May is back and hears all of it, and she
Yeah,
leaves Chris
because
off.
his friend is like, no, let me go fetch May, because clearly she
Yeah,
misunderstood misread the whole situation. Let me go get her. He gets May. He's busy taking a bath. So
mhm.
he's thinking May has gone, right?
Yeah.
So he's telling what's her name again?
Salma,
Yeah, he's
Selena.
telling Selena that look, May, she's gonna apologize anyway. She knows she needs to reflect on what she did, because it's not like I was doing anything wrong. She should have just did her due diligence and just figured out what was going on. Oh, meanwhile, May is listening to the whole thing. This is May, by the way.
Yes.
Listening to the whole thing.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of? Have you know Key and Peele, right?
Key and Peele, yeah.
Yeah. You know, there's a skit they do where it's like, I said,
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah.
Basically, what's happening here. They're out here talking shit because they don't know that. That's
Yeah.
basically what's happening in this one.
Because
But yeah,
Selena's trying to salvage this whole situation. She's trying to make sure that, dude, say nice things about your girlfriend so that you can win her. You can win her back. This dude is saying the complete opposite of that. He's making things extremely worse.
brave dog. Cool. Cool. Yeah,
So,
that,
it's sort of like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Jackie Chan likes showing his butt, but the difference between him and Jean-Claude is you don't take him seriously when you see his butt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think we're supposed to be thinking, God damn. Like, I think Jean-Claude Van Damme, I think he wants us to be like, well done, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
you
You
sexy
know
man,
what I mean?
you.
Yeah, high five. All the guys in the audience, high fiving each other.
Exactly.
Well, I think Jackie Chan's just trying to be funny. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Especially with, I forgot what movie it is. I always forget the name of the movie. The one where he's like in some kind of like Indian like market, and he's got like a towel, and then like he has to use a hat, and then he has to use thingamajiggy, and the bad guys pull the towel. He has to grab a hat quickly, and then he covers himself, and then you see his butt. Like you seen that one? You know what I'm talking about?
Who was he with in that movie?
Oh God, damn.
The India scene that I can think of is Around the World in 80 Days. Is that the one?
No, that one. It's a Hong Kong one. If I remember the name, I'll get it. I'll bring it. I'll show it to you, dude. It's
Okay.
hilarious. So Amanda's not afraid of showing his butt, but at the same time, is not a point of pride.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, cool. Selena finds, but as all that's happening, Selena finds a photo of the man that was trying to attack him.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's a roommate, and is dismissing the whole attack. She makes a plan to get him back, which is the whole sequence unto itself.
Right.
49 minutes in, Jackie Chan wakes up to all his alarm clocks sabotaged and he's late. He hilariously rushes there and Selena having escaped. Sus Cop is on the stand and does a very bad job of defending the case. Jackie tells his story, and then it's Jackie's turn. Jackie tells his story, and the lawyer beats his case apart, determined to show reasonable doubt. Even though that shit is crazy. But anyway, Jackie pulls out his tape that he recorded, and yeah, the whole high point that was set up falls apart. Even the judge starts laughing, dude.
Dude, it's crazy. I think,
Dog.
and if you were not there, because they showed it to us, right? But if you were not there, that conversation sounds sexual. You know what I mean? But because you were there, you know it was about the cactus.
Sounds so sus. Oh my god. Yeah. Jackie is humiliated. Yeah, it was hilarious. Case dismissed. It's all a disaster.
This is also after he was sort of trying to fix things with May, and now she's hearing all these things. It's like, ah, no. Like, dude, you have the worst luck when it comes to women because I mean, he also says it like, yo, I don't understand women. Like he says it himself.
Yes. Cool. 57 minutes in, we're in the halfway point. The Act 2 mission having failed completely. Police hype. The police hype about Jackie that had been shot earlier comes back into play as the boss, who is still pissed off about the whole situation, sees Jackie all over the news. This is combined with the fact that the drug deal that was supposed to have happened, it was set up in the dialogue that drug deal was actually important for him, the drug boss, Mr. Chan, because he needed those drugs for the money. He needed the success of the mission. And now those drug leaders still want their money. And the case is not over. Turns out the case is not over. So this man could still go to jail. And he's got Selena. So he decides he's going to kill 3 birds with 1 stone.
He wanted the drugs from who again?
The drug dealer from the beginning, from the opening scene.
Oh, yes.
So that drug deal is still relevant in terms of dialogue anyway. But the boss doesn't have the money because it's been confiscated.
Right.
He's not doing well.
Right.
So things are very difficult for him. And then Sus Cop shows up and is like, I'm here to retire, but I want extra money because that's just the worst timing in the world.
Hey, dude. Honestly, it was. It was.
So the boss decides to kill 3 birds with 1 stone. 61 minutes in, we break the tension with Jackie, who's on a desk. We get a very crazy sequence, which apparently took months to do, by the way. Mostly focused on him flicking that pen up. You know what I mean? Like flicks the pencil up. Yeah, that's over.
In the end credit scene where he was really trying to catch it. I didn't know that it took months to do, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I guess it's also breaking the tension after all the tension that we got in the court scene, and him losing that moment, and that whole drug conversation, the sus cop coming in. You needed to break it with humor.
Exactly, and that's what they gotta get here, and they get away with it because what they've done is they've set up. It's a very clever writing move where you've set up shit's about to go down. Our lead doesn't know about it, so let's take advantage of this gap where the lead doesn't know what's happening. So let's have a nice moment in this space because we know it's about to go down. So let's not do a straight line. Let's put something nice. That's what they do. They put this whole comedy sequence in here.
And also, Please continue. I'll say my what I want to say afterwards.
And that's clever pacing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that to add on to what you're saying now is also you can see that this man has a life out of this case. You
Yeah.
know, he's making plans with his girlfriend. At the same time, you can still see that he's still a cop. He's still investigating, but at the same time, he's just this is like a day in the life of
Yeah.
Jackie Chan as a cop. You know,
And how often do you see people just eat? Like,
exactly,
think about it. When
exactly.
did you see Liam Neeson eating in the entire Taken series, all 4 Taken movies? Did you see him eating once? Did you see Bruce Willis eating at any point? Like, if you think about, that's a thing on my writing. I actually try to pride myself on this. Is I want to have things like that, where a character is eating. Do you know what I mean? Or a character stubs their toe. Do you know what I mean?
The people that do this really well as Asians, even in anime, when you look at Hayao Miyazaki's movies,
Yes.
when you think of something like Spirited Away
Mm-hmm.
or Kiki's Delivery Service, you do have those moments, you know. I mean, there's even moments of quietness, you know. There's an elevator scene in Spirited Away where she goes in. I think that was like it was like was it Radish? I don't remember, but like a monster version of that. You know, I don't even remember. I think it was like a few vegetables and animals, and she's in there, dude. Silence until she gets from one floor to another floor. Silence. The other characters just breathing like. You're like, wow, okay. And you need that. You need, but
Exactly.
the other thing that I wanted to mention is the one character that I can think of that instantly comes to mind when you talk about eating in movies is Rusty from Ocean's 11, 12, and 13. Brad Pitt is always eating something
Yeah.
in scenes.
Yeah, it's a theme. Yeah. It has to be a deliberate theme. Like, for example, Italian movies will
Right.
always have cooking and eating because it's a theme specific to Italians.
Oh,
Italians for their food. So
right.
if you see a movie that's Italian like Mafia and no one's eating, that's a bad Mafia movie.
Oh, I
Like,
see.
it's like a thing. It's an actual thing. Like, think about it. One of the most famous Mafia movies of all time is,
The
of course,
Godfather.
Okay, yes, Godfather, yes, where they spend like 5 minutes talking about putting wine in the spaghetti sauce.
Yes.
Uh,
Even
and then,
Godfather Part 2, the scene where they show the difference between a full house with Michael Corleone and his family, the concierge, you know, Sonny, Fredo, you know, and how now he's all by himself, smoking at the
yeah,
table and nobody's there.
yeah,
Like I was saying, Goodfellas, the moment with Martin Scorsese's mother,
yeah,
Joe Pesci,
yeah.
Robert De Niro, and who's this guy that I like so much? That actor who plays the main character. What's his name again? Ray Liotta.
Oh, Jerry Lotto, yes.
Yes, and then they're
Uh,
all giving like food and stuff. Brilliant.
exactly. They even show a part where the gang boss is out here cutting the thinnest slices of garlic you've ever seen. Where you're like, nah, dog, this movie will end before you finish. The man's prison sentence will end before he finishes. But that's the whole point where it humanizes the drug boss now. Because he's
Mm.
out here cutting garlic, you know what I mean?
He's still human at the end of the day. He has to
It's
eat something. Right.
yeah, exactly. And it's a clever writing technique. And then I need to do a full essay breakdown about gimmicks versus flaws
Mm.
versus. We talked about it last week. We were talking about Tony Stark's examples of things like that. Where it's not just a gimmick; it's a humanization tool. But
Right.
yeah,
I
because
think
some
also there's just one moment of trivia. Speaking of Tony Stark, that I wanted to mention in Avengers, which I guess you could say it is true to form to Robert Downey being born to play Iron Man. He would hide food, right, on set. So there'll be specific scenes where he just starts eating. That's because he hid food somewhere and the entire crew couldn't find it, you know. And the moment I can think about is when he was like, "That man is playing Gallagher."
yeah,
We didn't notice, but we did. You know, for me,
yes,
I feel like that was sort of like his comment on saying, guys, I noticed so many things. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how he got in, started talking about how he read the report. Didn't anybody read the report last night? You pack a mean punch, buddy. Nice try. You know, meeting Thor and everybody. I feel
Yeah,
like that
great.
specific
Yeah,
moment, that's probably one of the moments where he was actually just revealing that, okay, guys, I
yeah.
hid this food somewhere and I'm just gonna have a bite of something, you know.
It's a moment where it's not just someone being cool. It's a moment of, oh, this is Iron Man.
Yes,
So, and what's nice about the moments is you can steal those moments, and then you can put them on Ultron. Remember, Ultron is supposed to be like a clone of Iron Man.
right.
Uh, so then when Ultron makes a bunch of jokes where it's like, what does it say again? There was a nice one where it's like, you have to something to do something, and then it's like, then Ultron's like, well, I guess you never made an omelet before, and then Iron Man's like, I was about to say that.
Right. And also, I don't like how we keep on we like almost everybody does this, and I in my mind and my heart, I'm like, why are we forgetting that Banner was also a co-creator of Ultron? It's not like Tony Stark is the only one that built this thing. Banner
True.
was involved the whole time.
Out here being convinced easily.
Exactly. Exactly.
Tony Stark is the devil on his shoulder, being like, okay, look, man, let's do this again. Let's make another. Yeah.
Have you seen that they released a video, the two of them, actors on actors? There's a conversation on actors, just between the
Oh,
two.
okay.
Yeah, like how they met in the 90s and how they were both involved in Zodiac. And
Right, they were both in Zodiac.
right, yeah. So I highly
Hmm.
recommend that you should watch it. But
I
anyway,
would see that actually, just to see if they complained about David Fincher doing 100 takes.
yeah, yeah. But he did say that who's this? Robert Downey did say that he got a whole lot of respect for David Fincher.
Hmm.
I think after that movie or something. After
Yeah.
being involved in that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. No, no, I need to watch that. Definitely. Cool. Anyway, back to the story.
Right.
Yeah, we get the crazy sequence involving all of the takes. So 67 minutes in, um, we get a maze scene, and the bad guy plan kicks off. The bad guys are closing in. This happens by the way, in perfect mathematical time, according to the ideal story breakdown. We talked about it before about the story, Save the Cat, typical story breakdown, not good pacing. The trap is set, and he gets to Selena, only for Sus Cop to stab Jackie in the back, and for Jackie to be stabbed, and for Sus Cop to be stabbed in the back himself. Jackie Chan uses that moment to escape. Now we break into Act 3. Captain and the inspector discuss evidence against Jackie, who's wanted for shooting the cop. 77 minutes in, Jackie marches into the police station to fight for his innocence. Um, they don't believe him, and we get, I feel like, a great, depending on what version you watch, a great monologue on, and especially if you watch Jackie Chan's emotions, which you can really see in the value of Jackie Chan's face. Yeah, I don't know. What did you think about that? Where he's yelling at the inspector, depending on what version you watch.
I feel like he lost it. Eh? Wait, what do you mean? What version you what? Is there a different version?
You get dubbed and you get subbed. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
oh, I watched dubbed. So
Yeah, same. But you actually get two dubbed. There's one where they call him Inspector. What's his name?
or Chin something.
Yeah,
Chin. No,
call him. Yeah, they call him. Yeah, Chan Kukai.
yes.
And then there's another version of dub where they just call him Jackie.
Jackie Chan. They call him Jackie Chan. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they call him Jackie Chan.
No,
They're
no,
like,
the one that I watched, they were calling him Jackie Chan.
okay, I know that version. Um, cool. Yeah, we end up in our situation, and this is what they call breaking into the finale. All the main pieces have been set up now, and now so Jackie Chan by himself has to finish things.
Yeah.
81 minutes in, he starts with the informant. We don't even see what happens to the informant. He just rolls up after smashing all the henchmen, the informant's henchmen, and just yeah. Then he moves. Then the scene moves to Selena, who's in her old office. We cut to the bad guys who discover Selena is hacking them and is taking all his data. The bad guys are forced to act, and Jackie Chan, who's been staking them out, follows,
Right.
leading to a chase and a battle between Selena, Jackie, and the boss. What follows is a game of hot potato, which I need to make a personal video about, involving so much candy glass. The crew was actually calling the movie Glass Story instead of Police Story. Yeah, I still want to make a sequence of hot potato sequences because if you think about it, it happens in a lot of movies. The most popular one right now being Endgame. Even though I feel like maybe this hot potato might have even been as good, if not better. Um,
I
you know
think
about
I
hot
think this
potato?
one
Yeah,
I think this one was better. By hot potato, you're talking about having something being thrown around and being handled by
exactly.
different people, as if like you're holding a hot potato and you can't handle it. So you throw it No, I get that. I get that analogy.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's so much fun, dude. It's so much fun. Um, okay, cool. And now I want to shout out the ladies now. The action in this TV show in this movie is brutal. Like, my God.
and sort of realistic in a sense. I don't think there's moments where I feel like that is not realistic.
Yeah,
They're using bats. They're using whatever they can find. There's a motorbike. Maybe it's a prop to market something. They're using that to fight. You
it,
know.
the entire motorbike. I mean, they dropped May on her ass, dude. They put it in a wide so we could see every angle of her just falling her ass of that motorbike in the beginning.
Right.
Oh, when they smash her into the wall and the glass, dude, her legs are up like this, dude. Yeah, the movie is brutal to everyone and does not make any exceptions for the ladies. May with the scooters, Lena throughout the entire mall sequence.
Right.
They these girls, and I think that's what makes it so special. These girls, they don't know how to fight. They're not painted as people who know how to fight. They're
Yeah.
not painted as strong. Yeah, what's the face? Yeah, they are active parts of the story without being girl bosses. If
Yeah.
anything,
Gonna
so
help.
exactly. There's no Captain Marvel.
No.
There's no cool moment where like someone smart smirks with Arya Stark type stuff. None of
Right.
that.
And
Selena,
but I wouldn't necessarily call Selena a damsel in distress. She's trying her best.
exactly. That's my point. That's my entire point. Yes. Selena proves her bravery and determination and gets blasted for it. She
Yes.
gets punished for everything she's trying to do. But she keeps trying. If
Yes.
you, she's as determined as Jackie in a way.
Yes.
It's so, but
Yeah.
because it's not her story. She's not the main character, so it's fine. And it's great because you may not think about it, but it's there. Selena is the one who calls the boss when things break down at the beginning of the story. She's the one that rats out Operation Wild Boar.
Right.
Selena, it's Selena who turns the police trap upside down that ruins the trap. Yeah. It's Selena who gets the records needed to take down the boss, despite the risk to her.
Right.
Is she the smartest person? No. But at the same time, she's an active part of the story, and the story that's not about her.
Right.
She's an active member of it.
And if you think about it, there are
Mhm.
quite a lot of movies that do this, and we don't really give the characters that do these things in the movies enough credit.
Yeah.
I'll give you maybe three examples of this. The first example that I can think about is the first Blade, right?
Yes. Yes.
That lady in the first Blade had such a pivotal moment or a pivotal role throughout the story, especially in the third act.
Yes.
If she didn't do what she did,
Mhm.
Blade probably would have died, right?
She literally cures vampirism. She literally creates an alternative to blood. She literally creates the blood bomb, the vampire killing blood bomb. Yeah.
Right.
And never bangs Blade, by the way. She never bangs him.
No,
It's not a love interest. She's just a new part of the team. That's a badass. You don't even notice. You wouldn't even notice.
exactly. The other one I can think of
Mm-hmm.
is Pepper Potts in two examples that I wanted to give.
Yep.
In the first Iron Man film, that whole USB moment, you
Mm-hmm.
know, where she nearly got caught, and also how instrumental she was in actually helping Tony defeat Obadiah Stane.
Yes.
And even in the third one, where Tony was struggling with Andrew Killian,
Yes.
she came and helped him, dog, to a
Uh,
point where she was actually physically fighting this guy.
yeah. She had the fire powers. What is it called again? The something. I forgot what it's called.
Right.
But I love it when they beat guys with just pure intelligence. You know what I mean?
mm,
When you win with speed, I think that's cool. I think for me, unless you're like maybe Gina Carano, then okay, then it makes sense. You know what I mean? Or Ronda Rousey.
or Michelle Yeoh.
Yes. But Michelle Yeoh, especially with Police Story, is it Police Story 3? No, that's Maggie Chow, right?
I think Police Story 2 maybe. I think it was Michelle Yeoh. Because Police Story 3 came out in 2013, right? So
Yeah,
because Police Story 2 sort of looks a bit outdated than Police Story 3. Or
yeah,
let me just say it looks a bit older than obviously but I mean it
yeah.
seems like Michelle Yeoh was in the one that looks a bit older.
But it feels like they designed fighting choreographer just for her. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Where it's like she doesn't plow through you. She uses a combination of different moves, and that plows through you. Like it's such a unique. It's not even unique. It's supposed to be what we all do from now on. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of action writing, and it's almost unfair that we don't do it anymore.
Right.
Good example of it being done nicely as well is Romeo Must Die. Jet Li and Aaliyah.
Right.
The fight where Jet Li uses her as the fighter because he can't fight.
Right.
Yeah, he's like, I can't use my martial arts against the lady, so he like uses her. Like that is so cool. But um, yeah. So I love that kind of thing. I just want to make a special shout out there. Anyway, in this sequence, we get some of the best stunts, some of the most brutal stunts, and of course, the stunt they show like 3 times, but it's so impressive they almost have to show it 3 times. When he
Right.
slides down that thing, you know, he burns his hands and he did that. That's why he lets go and he falls like that. He was supposed to slide all the way down, but thanks to the glass popping, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean, the electricity, it got so hot that he was burning his hands, so he had to let go, and that's why he falls on his back like that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And that was
So
done in one take, right?
yep. You
And
don't get shots at that.
and in as much as, that was a huge risk and he did it and we thank God he did it. It was
Yeah.
pivotal to the story. It made sense for him to do that in the story.
Because the boss was downstairs. The two girls had just gotten the crap kicked out of them. I
Yeah.
think they made down the stairs at one point.
Yeah.
Crazy. So now the boss has got the briefcase. He has to get down there. There's only one way to do it.
Yeah.
And dog. And then of course the ending where it's like they try to get him to calm down, and then he just beats the snot out of all of these.
Everybody, the lawyer,
Dog.
the villain, like
It is literally the definition of these hands are rated E for everybody.
right, right.
Dog. Just the gut punches. Oh, Jackie. Yeah. And then it just ends.
That's the thing about Jackie Chan movies. If you really think about Jackie Chan movies where he's in control,
Yeah.
like Who Am I, or this one, or
Yeah.
Rumble in the Bronx, even, I think.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just, the movies just end.
And that's it.
The movies end. But the movies where it doesn't really have too much control, like Rush Hour, they have good ending, proper endings. Everything is solved.
True. Yes. Oh my gosh. Even though there's some people that argue about that, about some of his Western movie endings versus modern ones, I agree with you though. I think some people are just being too purist. Sometimes you need a nice proper ending.
Right.
Like people always say, it's not as cool when you end things by shooting someone. But then again, getting punched in the dick until you die. Snake in the Eagle's Shadow, the priest, they hit him with,
Right.
and it ends.
Right.
So I think having an actual dramatic ending is better. And here's the thing, this is a great action movie. It is a great comedy. But as you can see, as you've seen, if you've paid attention to the times I've written here, the minutes, and you follow it to the beat sheet, it follows the rules of good paced storytelling perfectly. The final finale happens at the right minute mark. The bad guys closing in section happens at the right minute mark. The midpoint happens at the right point. The midpoint low, because remember, we always talk about, I think the last movie we talked was a midpoint high. This one was a midpoint low. All happens at the right pacing. So in terms of storytelling, not just, cool action and spectacle, perfect. Done perfectly.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And I guess you could say that he was just fed up, man.
Yeah.
As a character,
Mhm.
the entire movie, he's going above and beyond to
Yeah.
catch this guy, and this guy just outsmarts him every single time.
Yes.
And I think at that time it's like, and this lawyer is just making things worse. It's like if Commissioner Gordon was just tired of doing things by the book, and it's like, you know
Yeah,
what, screw this.
yeah. And became Batman for a sequence. I'm pretty sure there's a thing like that actually. I don't even know.
Yeah, well, if you watch, I think you and I should do
Year one.
year one, because I'm sure you remember that moment in year one where
Yeah.
he actually fights Flash, and he's like, you know what, I'm tired, and he beats him up to a pulp, bro. And he says, look, I know that Flash is not gonna say anything because he's too proud to say that he got beat up by someone. So he's gonna create the story.
Like this, yes.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Yep. Ah, dude. But yeah, brilliant story. This is an action comedy that is better that is better than it had any right to be. Jackie Chan sacrificed body and soul to make a masterpiece of its genre that would cost 100 million to make, and even Tarantino praises it to no end. Michael Bay obviously copied it. It follows writing guidelines and is of course a great spectacle. For me, it is an easy 8.5 or 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I do not disagree at all with that rating. I would give it the same. I mean, and there's sort of quite a number of references in the film itself. He's wearing all the stars. There's a moment where he does the moonwalk because he's trying to scrape dildo from his shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, so you can tell that he was self-aware. The film is self-aware of what's happening around that time, around that era, uh,
Mhm.
and it still works. You know, first time seeing sexual innuendos like that being spoken about like that in a Jackie Chan film. Him bad mouthing his girlfriend, which is something we've never seen before. You know, there's so many things that happen in this movie where you're like, whoa, okay, this is different, you know, but it works.
Yeah,
Having two very attractive women
yeah,
with two distinct personalities.
yes.
And
Three different human beings.
yeah, and you don't hate any of them. Like you actually like both of them.
Yeah, and they take a beating. They participate. They aren't Mary Sue's, and they aren't just damsels in distress. They
Yes.
are no people
Yes.
who wanna. Okay, Selena's more like trying to survive, but May wants to do the right thing. They have their own goals, and it shows in the storytelling.
I would say Selena is more like Tia Leone in the first Bad Boys film, in a
Mm,
sense that it's about her, even though
mm,
she's not the main character, but it's about her.
yeah,
Whereas May kind of sort of feels like Gabrielle Union in the second one. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Where she is active, but it's definitely not about her.
yeah. It's not about her at all.
At all, bro. At all. You know, and it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. 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 Is there anything that you want to share before we close it up?
About the movie.
Mm.
Okay. Nothing particular. I just want to say I hope we get a chance to do 2 and 3, and maybe even do the 4 and 5,
All right.
because I have got opinions on 4 and 5, at least on 4, which is the new police story. They tried something that is very strange in that one, and I think yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to kind of see the rise and downfall of this genre of
Right.
this movie.
Because I hear that the first three are considered they are highly regarded as one of the best
Yes,
movies ever made.
they're considered to be masterpieces. Absolutely.
I don't know what happened in 4 and 5. I mean, which is, you could say it's the same with Die Hard. I would say the first three Die Hard films are brilliant, even though, I mean, the second one is sort of like the first one, but in a different setting. But
Exactly.
1, 2, and 3 for me are Chef's Kiss.
Yes. I think what's so nice about Die Hard is that it's proof that sometimes no Die Hard, Alien, and what's a Terminator. Those are proof that if you do something different and it's done well, the audience will appreciate it.
Right,
They'll thank you for doing something different.
right.
Yeah. So that's right, fellow writers. Let's all try and do something different while at the same time still keeping the heart of what you're working on. Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm. No, that's true, man. That's true. I think even James Cameron alluded to something similar in his masterclass. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Anyway, guys, please let us know what you think about Police Story, the first one that was released in 1985. Do you love it? Do you think that it stands the test of time? Do you consider this movie to be one of Jackie Chan's best work? Please do let us know who was your favorite character, what was your favorite scene, what was your favorite moment, which moment made you laugh, which moment made you, I don't know, second guess um, any character, what are the highs, the lows? I mean, we gave it a 9.5 out of to a 10 or 9.8 to a 10.
Yep.
Give us your rating. Please don't forget to click the notification bell icon to be notified of any African Frame videos that may be coming out in the future. And so, yeah, for myself, Rob, Cam, and Rob, we'll definitely see you on the next one, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Cheers. Bro.